What if I told you confidence doesn't come from doing things perfectly, but from what you do when you feel completely unready? As someone who's run multiple 7 and 8 figure businesses, spoken on stages in front of hundreds, and spent times with some of the biggest names in the info space, I'm going to share 3 things that will teach you how to build dangerous confidence so you can stay calm, cool, and collected in any situation you encounter. And you know, these aren't just motivational quotes. These are earned lessons that cost me years, mistakes, and more than just a few all-nighters. Let's get into it. The first thing that you need to accept is confidence is the output, not the input. Most people think they need to be confident before they make a pitch, before they close a deal, before they lead a big meeting. So they wait, and waiting kills momentum. I grew up feeling like I didn't belong. From 10 to 20 years old, I felt like I was weaker than everyone, and everyone else was way stronger than me. I hid behind jokes. I was a class clown. I won class clown award at the school prom, and whilst winning, everyone was around me celebrating, but inside myself, it wasn't funny. I was hiding my own insecurity. Now, by the time I'm 23 years old, I've never done anything noteworthy. I failed at every job back to back, but finally I got one job where one sales manager said to me, "I can tell you're not trying, but you've got potential." And he just knew how to motivate me. So he said to me, "Set a goal, and I'm going to coach you through the goal." And for the first time, I thought, I'm going to commit to it. So I set this goal in the gym to get 100 sales. And to hit it, he reverse engineered how many leads, how many sales, how many calls I had to do every single day. And everything was mapped out. And what happened was, because we removed the emotion behind it and it just was about numbers, it just made it really clear. I just need to hit a number. And most people think they need to be really smart. I think making things so simple where I can just dumb it down to, oh, I just need to hit this number. And if I don't hit it, it's my fault. So it was combining accountability to just hitting this number. And the point is, I finally stopped waiting to feel ready. I finally just acted. Smart people often overthink, and those overthinkers never get a lot of stuff done. Most people, when I look online, they don't make no sales because they're just so busy overthinking about everything. Being dumb and just acting without any sort of thought about things is actually a superpower. It was the proof that I gave myself that built my confidence, not the other way around. You don't need to feel confident to move. You move, and that's what makes you ready. Stop chasing the feeling of confidence. Make the call, raise the offer, close the deal. Ask for the decision, even if you're nervous. Just ask. Every time you follow through on a behavior, your brain understands what you've done and adapts. But even if you act, you'll still fall short if you're carrying the wrong beliefs. And that's what we're going to tackle in the second truth, which is your ability isn't holding you back, your belief is. The biggest barriers aren't the market, aren't the economy, aren't bad leads. They are your beliefs. Those are all just beliefs in your head. Our price is too high, my audience hates being sold to, I'm a closer, I'm not a marketer, follow-ups are too pushy, so nothing in your life changes. Conversion stalls and deals die into no man's land. Even after being a sales director of a company, I opened my own business. I still had a belief I was hiding behind. I was like, I'm a sales guy, I'm not a marketer. And every time I would flop at marketing, I would blame this core belief. And I kept spending money on marketing and kept failing, but never truly accepting that it was my responsibility, because when I failed, I would cover it up and say, but you know, I'm a sales guy, it's not really my fault. I created that identity for myself where I allowed failure, which meant that I didn't have to try. So I wasn't truly trying on content. I wasn't truly trying on the ads. I thought I was doing my best, but I truly wasn't going above and beyond. I wasn't putting in the research. I wasn't putting in the work because I had labeled myself as I'm just a sales guy, instead of framing it as I'm not so good at marketing and I'm going to become an expert, so let me find out everything about it. Then I started looking into my own call recordings and objection logs, and I realized there was gold already right there. Every pain point, every hesitation, every phrase the buyers used, it was all in my sales calls. And I thought, it's just all one. It's not two separate things. I built the landing page headline straight off what the prospects were telling me on the sales calls. I wrote the emails that answered to exact objections that I heard from the customers on the sales calls. And when I relaunched, we finally cracked it. The same people who were once saying no are now saying yes. Not because they had changed their mind, not because they were now different. It was because I was putting in the time, I was putting in the effort, and I could finally understand them and sell to them correctly. For me to be able to create that in my business, I had to genuinely put in the effort. And that's the thing. The gap isn't talent. It's the story you're telling yourself. The moment you stop saying, I'm not X, I'm not Y, I'm not a marketer, I'm not a sales guy, I'm not good at maths, that's why I can't manage my finances. Whatever the excuses that you're making in your life, That's what's holding you back. It's the belief that you've created for yourself within that lie that you've told to allow failure. The moment you question your belief, you finally weaken it and gain strength over your own beliefs. You control your beliefs, nobody else. You look at the world differently to how everybody else looks at it. Some people say they're pessimists, some people are optimists, some people are downright delusional. But depending on how you see the world, if you believe everything's going to go your way and you're lucky, I promise you, it will go your way. Stop letting your beliefs control you and you control your beliefs. Once you've gained belief, the next thing is how you gain momentum. And that's where you'll find my next point. Confidence fades fast if you can't see progress. Most business owners are making moves every single week, but they feel like they're standing still because they're not tracking their numbers, they're not tracking their wins. They don't have small wins to stack upon each other. I wanted to leave my job at 29 years old, and it took me almost a year to be able to feel confident enough to leave. And what I did was I started with a side hustle. I was doing some sports massage on the side. So then I got the confidence to think, you know what? I can do something outside of my job. I am actually good at something else. If I do something outside of my work, and this was a job I did for 6 years, so I didn't feel confident to leave. I had to just do something small. But once I stacked that win and I had made some money from doing something else aside from my job, then I felt confident after lockdown to think, you know what? I'm going to leave. I'm going to do something new. And after I did something new, I felt even more confident to now open another clinic and go for the next thing and spend some more money and put in all of my time and then buy some more courses. It was one win after another. A year after, when I look back and thought, I went from doing sports rehab part-time to now owning 3 clinics. That was a year. And you think to yourself, how can it happen so quick? How can you go from working a job and doing a side hustle part-time to opening 3 clinics within a year? Well, it happens because you stack small wins upon each other. And you just chase the next goal and you say, right, this month I'm going to complete these goals. This month I'm going to do this many sessions and complete this goal and hire someone. After I hire someone, I'm going to make sure that they are fully running the clinic for me so I can do this next thing. And every month you track your progress. You just set new goals and the confidence grows further and further. So then when I eventually wanted to open this business here, coaching and developing sales teams, I had already built confidence from doing all the little side hustles to take bigger swings. Confidence doesn't come from hype, it comes from evidence. If you want unshakable sales confidence, you need to provide visible proof that you're moving revenue forward. So if you want to become dangerously confident, here's a formula. Act, don't react, and run the play even when you feel unready. Break the beliefs that are holding you back. Disprove them with controlled tests. Stack visible wins. Track the metrics that move revenue forward so proof kills any doubt. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait to feel ready. Take the step, collect the evidence, and let the evidence turn into certainty. Now the only question is, are you going to start stacking that sales proof today, or are you going to wait until the opportunity is gone? And if you need some training material to either start managing a sales team or getting good at sales, click the link below, join the free community, and I'll see you on the other side.